All right. I did what I do too often, and I posted 3 fast comments. This time I was posting to Forever Wolf Films. She's done a video about why she so strongly believes in, well, she calls it antinatalism, but it is another form of antinatalism than a lot of antinatalists believe in. It's efilism. So I wanted to ask these 3 things. Now, I'm not trying to be argumentative. I really would like to have these questions answered. Um, and I'm going to just read them because I did make some typos, and I'll try to correct the typos as I read it. I say in my first comment, just a friendly question. At about frame 910, you say, real sentience, and I should have said sentience, is in jeopardy if these ideas are not put into the world. But then I ask Amanda something I've wondered about for a long time, and I'm hoping that some efilist will enlighten me. But efilists, I say, want to annihilate all life and insist that annihilation is the only solution to the dilemmas we face. How is it logical to say we must destroy all life in order to save it? You reinforce this contention with statements such as, we can die horribly or we can die responsibly. How is destroying all life not dying horribly exactly? That's the first comment. In my second comment, I say, I know the answer often parroted, and I probably should not have said often parroted, often heard, I should have said, or something like that, is if we destroy all life, that will stop suffering, the suffering of life. Efilists always use the red button scenario. Is such a solution even possible? And if it were, could you efilists be absolutely certain that you can see the future clearly enough to destroy all life on the basis of your logic? I'm a vegan. I think bringing children into the world in the 21st century is foolhardy. But I also think efilism is a simplistic answer to a very difficult situation. Then I go on to make a third comment. And if you are an efilist or an antinatalist, could you just step away for a second from feeling angry at me and just listen to the questions I'm asking? And then, if you want to get angry, you're certainly in your rights to get angry. I'm just wondering if you could go through these techniques that are often used to consolidate people into the same frame of mind, and ask yourself if any of these are ever used, and if so, why and what the motivation might be. So here are the things that I ask if these might be in some way characteristic of efilism. I'm not talking about moderate antinatalism here. I'm talking about the red button solution efilism. Avoid abstract ideas, appeal to emotions. Are emotions ever appealed to as part of this? Constantly repeat just a few ideas, use stereotyped phrases. The efilists themselves refer to the memes that are involved. Does that ring a bell? Give only one side of the argument. If you try to say the world might be more complex, and you can care about suffering, and I've said a lot of these things, and other people have said them, and not think that there's just one side to solutions to our problems. Invariably, in my experience, you receive a lot of negative feedback just for asking the questions. How about this? Continuously criticize your opponents. Do you think that criticism is used a lot in efilism? And I know that people will say it's not wrong to use insults and abuse if you're actually presenting an infallible and very good argument. But it seems to me, and I'll talk about that later, so I'm just going to let that go. Pick out one special enemy for vilification. Now, you do pick out different enemies. I've often been on the receiving end of it. And I can tell you it's very unpleasant to be on the receiving end of efilist wrath. And there's a lot of efilist wrath out there. So I know this, you're going to get upset about this, but do you efilists pick out one special enemy for vilification? And, it can be one at a time or serially, but if you're criticized, do you take that in stride and try to address the criticisms without just making it an insult fest? Do you? I'd like to hear somebody talk about that. And then here's my opinion on it, and maybe you can point out to me where I'm mistaken. Efilists ostracize and viciously criticize anyone who disagrees with them or questions their logic. Those with strong positions do not need to resort to such tactics. If you disagree with me and you're an efilist, then point out to me where I'm wrong. You can use all the usual rhetoric and call me, a skanky cunt and all the predictable things that are off topic. But you can also please address the questions I've asked. I would really appreciate it. So Amanda, if you can do it, fine. Memendum, Gary, if you want to take it on, it would be nice at this time you wouldn't just resort to insults, but whatever. Or anyone else who really wants the red button scenario, I want to know exactly what your logic is in detail. Not memes that have been repeated a number of times. Not, suffering sucks. Yeah, suffering does suck. But there's got to be more to the argument than that. There's got to be more than, there's got to be some complexity that I don't see. And I'm sorry if you don't think there is complexity, then prove this is a very simple situation to destroy all life. It strikes me as a very problematic situation. You guys take care of yourself.